Nintendo never made a backlit Game Boy Color. There was a backlit original Game Boy called the Game Boy Light, which was only released in far eastern shores. So your options for playing Game Boy games with a backlit screen are pretty limited. Now the easy solution of course is playing Game Boy games on your phone, but what if, like me, you've got a load of old Game Boy games? You can go and look out for an old GBA SP, you can get a very expensive mod put inside one of your original pieces of hardware, or you can buy a KongFeng GB Boy Colour. I found this guy on AliExpress and I took a punt. The packaging is, I don't know, it's pretty China, isn't it? Now when you put the unit next to an official Nintendo product, you can see that there are some significant differences between the official Game Boy Color and the KongFeng GB Boy Colour. Now for a start, KongFeng have managed to spell colour correctly. Thank you. The other thing you notice straight away is that the GB Boy Colour is quite a bit bigger than the Game Boy Color, which isn't actually a problem for me because I'm not 8 anymore, and so now it fits into my man-sized hands. The plastic quality is pretty good. You do notice that the build quality isn't necessarily up to the same standards as Nintendo, but then really you shouldn't expect them to be, should you? Look at those face buttons. A and B, perfectly good. Start and select, they're actually physical buttons on the KongFeng, which is actually better than the rubber keys on the Game Boy Color. They're not as mushy. And then you've got that petally shaped D-pad. Doesn't actually affect the gameplay at all. In fact, the D-pad works perfectly well. It just looks a bit weird, but it doesn't play any differently at all. Booting the thing up, you can see the screen is really bright. I'm surprised how good this screen is. I fully expected this to be Chinese crap and that this video would be just a hey, look what I found for sale in China kind of video, but this thing's actually brilliant. The 66 inbuilt games are all official Game Boy games. Now I could figure out maybe they could make a clone console and sell it with some sort of legal loopholes, but they are also selling it with 66 definitely copyrighted games. The kind of Game Boy games you'd expect to be on here are here. Tetris is here, Bugs Bunny, which is like the best Game Boy game, is on here. And then of course the main attraction is the fact that you can put your own Game Boy games into the back. I've been putting original 2-color Game Boy games and Game Boy Color Game Boy games in. So far I haven't run into a game that doesn't work. I'm not going to say it's 100% compatible. There is bound to be a couple of games that don't work, but everything I've put in it so far has worked really well, and I just cannot believe how bright and how clear that screen is. For 20 quid, this thing it's blown my mind. I know what you're thinking. It's all well and good seeing these 2-color Game Boy games running on it, but what about Game Boy Color games? And specifically, how does the opening cutscene from Link's Awakening DX look? Well, I can tell you, it looks amazing. So, pros. Has a backlit screen, is compatible with every Game Boy game I've tried with it, has a really long battery life, comes in a variety of colours, pretty much functions better than the original Game Boy Color. Cons, it has KongFeng written on it. That's it, really. This thing's brilliant. This is one of the best things I've bought from China in ever. I heartily recommend this product. This is a 5-star bash. Seriously, go out and buy one. You will not regret it. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it and want to see more video games content, please subscribe to The Game Show.